Hey y'all, I see some people are joining. I just want to come on here and say we're so excited to have y'all on this informational webinar for Georgia Southern Panhellenic of Recruitment. We're just going to wait a couple minutes for everyone to get on and we'll start in a few minutes.
Welcome in, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. We're going to wait just a couple more minutes to get started. So make sure that your sound is on and make sure everything is working properly. So thank you so much for joining.
Okay, guys, we'll just wait just one more minute to get everybody going and let them join on, and then we'll start. Okay, so I think we've had almost everyone join. So, hey, y'all, my name is Megan Blanchard, and I'm the Vice President of Panhellenic Recruitment.
Hey everyone, my name is Sarah Bowen and I am the president for our Panhellenic community at Georgia Southern.
We are so excited to have y'all all interested in going through the Georgia Southern recruitment process. This is an amazing experience to sign up for, and we are ready to give y'all some information and what it's all about.
All right,
Perfect.
whenever you are
Awesome.
ready.
Awesome. Let's get started, y'all. So, first, we just want to welcome y'all to the 2024 GSU Panhellenic Recruitment. Here's what we're going to cover in this PowerPoint. We're going to go over move-in day and P&M orientation, the recruitment week breakdown, what is a PHA, t-shirt announcements, recruitment week outfits, tips and tricks, PHA policies, and a live Q&A.
So here is a picture of our 2024 Panhellenic Exec Board. I love all of these girls, so we're going to break down each and every one of them and tell you their positions. So first, there's me, the Panhellenic president, but we already know me. And then we already introduced Megan, which is our vice president of Panhellenic recruitment. Then we have Chloe Boyd, who is the vice president of administration. We have Juliana Hall as our vice president of judicial affairs. We have Day McCollum as our vice president of public relations. We have Jewel Atkins as our vice president of financial affairs. We have Jaylee Kilgo as our vice president of diversity and inclusion. And then we have Sadie Rush as our vice president of programming. So throughout the recruitment week, you'll see these girls all over our row and helping you in all ways recruitment. And so here are our FSL advisors. You will also see these two around during your recruitment process. We have Dr. Francisco Lugo, who is our director for FSL. And then we have our assistant director, Daniel McBurney, and he will be all over the place helping us and mostly helping me and Megan wrangle all of the PNMs throughout this process. So be sure to look for their faces and say hello throughout row.
All right, so we just wanted to give y'all a little advice from us to you. Obviously, y'all are coming into this process and you might not know what to really expect. So we just want to get a little tidbit from us to you. And my little thing is just wait and see if you tried out on a limb, if you went out on a limb and tried out for the recruitment process, never in a million years said, I think I was going to be the vice president of Panhellenic recruitment for Georgia Southern University. That is such a wild concept. If you told me that when I was a little baby freshman, I was unsure if I even wanted to go through recruitment and if I even fit the stereotype for a sorority girl. But guess what? There are no stereotypes for a sorority. And being in this community, the Panhellenic Association has accepted me for who I am, and I'm proud to say that the best risk I ever took was filling out that registration form and signing up for GSU recruitment because I've gotten to do so many amazing things, and this has been some of the best 4 years of my life in the PHA Association.
Amazing. So I'm kind of on the flip side. I always knew I wanted to go through the recruitment process. So filling out that form for me, I feel like I was one of the first potential new members to fill out that form whenever I went through. But PHA has given myself and many others the opportunity to grow as individuals, make a difference in the Statesboro community, excel in leadership roles, meet women I could have never crossed paths with, raise money for philanthropy, work with our councils on campus to have women to celebrate my victories with that I have achieved at Georgia Southern, and offer a shoulder to cry on and women to help me whenever I'm going through a struggle. Being a member of the PHA community has taught myself and many others so much about women we want to be: honest, kind, empowering, respectful, inspiring, helpful, inclusive, and determined, and whatever that might look like in your eyes. Before the process begins and during each day until then, take the time to think about the woman you want to become and who you always hoped you would become. So that's my little tip before this recruitment process begins.
Yeah. All right, so getting into the nitty gritty, we are going to talk about recruitment week and the breakdown of the days, what else is going to happen throughout, and yeah. So first, you're going to have P&M Move-In, which is on August 5th, and your P&M Orientation. P&Ms will receive an email from GSU Housing around mid-July to choose a designated time to move in. So y'all will have a form that you fill out on when you want to move in. Typically, from last year, these move-in shifts were around 9 to 1 p.m., but they could potentially differ this year, so don't think that is the set time. We're unsure yet, but you will get that email from GSU Housing, not the Panhellenic Association. But also, do not worry about missing out on your orientation due to move in. That's going to be later in the afternoon, and there will be no move in shifts that overlap with orientation. And also on this day is when all P&M modules have to be done.
So the big starting day, which is the most exciting day, I love icebreakers and programming day. So on day one, the first half of potential new members will attend icebreakers and talk to all of our 7 chapters on row. The second half on the potential new members will be going to programming day. And during that time, we'll have a fun surprise from the PHA exec board, and you'll learn more about the primary recruitment process and enjoy fun activities to get acquainted with the Panhellenic community. So on day 2 of icebreakers, the second half of potential new members will attend icebreakers and talk to the 7 chapter houses. And then the first half of the potential new members will be going to programming day. So pretty much the first day, if you are going to the houses, you will go to the houses. And then the second day, you will be going to programming day. And it just flip-flops. So I'm very excited about icebreakers. We have some great speakers on programming day. I'm so excited to let y'all hear about them.
Yes. And also, just another thing, if y'all would like to take pictures of these slides during this presentation, you definitely can. But just know that we'll also be posting a recording and posting this presentation on our GSU PHA Instagram in our link tree. But just a heads up, you can do either or. So next we have philanthropy round, which if you watched my Instagram takeover, this is my favorite round. It's on August 8th. All PNMs will now have their own unique schedules. So it will be up to you to be on time for your scheduled parties. And just a little tidbit for the lingo, a party is the event you're invited to the chapter house to have a conversation and get to know that sorority organization. Philanthropy Round consists of chapters talking about their philanthropic efforts and how they impact the community of Statesboro and individuals across the nation. We encourage you to ask chapters about the types of philanthropic events they host. These Philanthropy Day conversations typically last around 35 minutes, and it's a very sweet and emotional day. So just be ready for that. And there's a maximum of 6 parties that you can go to.
So next up is Sisterhood Round, and all PNMs will have their own unique schedule, just like philanthropy. It will be up to you to be on time for your scheduled parties. So at this point, the Pie Guys will not be leading you to your scheduled parties. A potential new member can be invited to a maximum of 4 parties. Sisterhood Round consists of the chapters talking about their sisterhood and how their organization makes them feel at home. This day is an amazing way to learn how joining our Panhellenic community creates lifelong friendships. Sisterhood conversations last up to about 45 minutes each. So really asking about that in-depth questions about their sisterhood and how you might see yourself in an organization and what your true values are is a great way to be capitalized on this day.
And one of the last rounds of the recruitment process is preference round, which is going to be on August 10th. This is where all PNMs will once again have their own unique schedule, and it will be up to you to be on time for your scheduled parties. A PNM can be invited to a maximum of 2 parties. Preference round is the most intimate for PNMs and chapters, and these conversations will be 60 minutes each. So going into, Sarah mentioned your pie guys leading you around on Icebreakers days. So what is a pie guy? This is my favorite topic to talk about. Pie guys, also known as recruitment counselors, are the team of selected individuals I have picked to guide you all through the recruitment process. These girls are current chapter members of a chapter and will be disaffiliated for the week to be an unbiased support system for you all. PICAs are a very important part of the recruitment process as they are there to assist me and to make sure the recruitment parties run very smoothly. Fun fact, I was a PICA last year and it was the best experience I've ever had. I love getting to know so many PNMs and helping them through the recruitment process the best I could. I definitely would suggest utilizing the PICAs to the best of your ability. These girls are there to help you. They're not there to make a decision for you, but they're really there to give you an unbiased support system and be that little rock in a big ocean of waves that the recruitment process might be. So
100%. So here is the long-awaited announcement. Megan has done an amazing job. You have done amazing, Megan, with these t-shirts. I am so happy to see them. I cannot wait to get my own copy of these t-shirts to wear by myself. But without further ado, let's announce the t-shirts. Here we go.
And I couldn't done it without my amazing president.
Megan. Too much. So on our left, you will see our Icebreakers shirt. So it is white with a blue font that says Georgia Southern Panhellenic. And if you look below the Georgia Southern Panhellenic font, we have the NPHC crest, which is a great little staple. I thought it was perfect for showing your personality and what you really value in your outfits, adding accessories, and just a beautiful shirt in itself. And then for philanthropy, which will be after Icebreakers, is a really beautiful shirt in my opinion. I love all the different colors. So once again, on the front, we have a pocket with the MPHC crest. And then on the back, it says, "This must be the place," which is just so fun. It really kind of capitalizes on the fact that we are all looking for that place in this big ocean, like Megan was saying. So I really love it. I think it's a cute little saying, and it is perfect for outfits. But let's look at some outfits to kind of break down and give you some ideas about what you might want to wear with these shirts. So here are some outfit inspos. I did put these together, so they are based upon my style, but I want each of you to be able to, once again, capitalize on your own style. This is to show how you are uniquely yourself and what you might wear during those days. So Icebreakers, once again, we have our t-shirt that says Georgia Southern Panhellenic on the front. And this is just a great day to wear whatever bottoms you feel fit. If it would be a skirt, a midi skirt, some shorts, jean shorts or skirt, I would recommend not wearing pants. It will be very hot in Statesboro in the fall. If you have never been to Statesboro in the fall, it is very hot. It is very outside, especially because you're going to be going to all those different 7 houses. So I am telling you, having that airflow is very important, but having all the different accessories and wearing whatever makes you uniquely you is so important. And that kind of carries into the philanthropy day, once again, with that t-shirt, and you can wear whatever bottom, shoes, accessories that you fit best into. Once again, with these shirts, you do have to wear them on these designated days, and you may not alter them with cutting or adding to the shirt in any way. Just wearing accessories and your normal bottoms and shoes is perfect. And then the most exciting day is showing your Georgia Southern inspired outfit. So I included 4 different outfits for Georgia Southern inspired outfits. Kind of a game day approach is how I would like to see it, where you're going to have that staple yellow, blue, and white or gold to show your Georgia Southern pride. And you can wear a higher scale of a dressier but also casual outfit is how I would explain it. So I did include some examples where you can wear a dress or a skirt. A jean skirt is also a good option. And on this day, you will still be walking around row. So I would be mindful of the shoes you were wearing. I recommend fashion sneakers or a short heel or a wedge, just because those are more comfortable for me. But once again, be uniquely you, and whatever fits you, fits you. And so preference day is your most dressy day of the entire week. As you go through the week, it slowly increases with the formality of it all. So preference day is the most formal day, and I included some preference dresses that I thought were super pretty. I love to see the bright colors and floral patterns on this day, especially with all the pretty dresses. It can be long, short, whatever is you, and whatever you choose to wear will be wonderful. So these are just a reference photo. So y'all are welcome to take a screenshot. But once again, we'll be posting more reference photos on our Instagram. So be sure to look out for those.
Sarah did amazing with these. I wish I could dress as nice as she did.
I wish I had all these outfits. I will say just definitely from Pinterest. So props to y'all who make all these collages because it took me hours.
All right, getting into some tips and tricks. So, in your recruitment bag, we did post on our GSU_PHA Instagram account a little guide on some suggestions to have in your recruitment bag. Those are merely just suggestions. Honestly, you don't even have to bring a bag onto row if you do not want. It's definitely helpful though. I'd say the most important thing to bring is a fan. Like Sarah said, it is going to be hot, 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 hot. It is the hottest thing in the world to be walking on row for a couple hours every day. So you want to be sure you're keeping cool, having water, makeup touch-ups if you need, anything you want, but it's just most important to bring what you will benefit the most in your recruitment bag. So,
100%.
yes, definitely. Sarah, did you have any important items that you had in your recruitment bag?
So the 2 top things I remember having in mine is oil blotting sheets. I get so oily every time I get out in the hot sun. And then I also had perfume. I know that's silly, but you are spending so much time outside, and I always just feel a little more fresh if I add a little bit of perfume. So I linked the Georgia Southern recruitment bag tips to our Instagram in the comments. So y'all can go check those out there if you haven't seen them already.
Yes. And also, guys, I just want to let y'all know that we are going to be taking questions at the end. So just hold your questions at the end and we'll make sure to get as many as we can. But moving on, the experience. Most importantly, make friends. This recruitment week can be a difficult time for some people because it's such a new thing to go through, but it's way better with friends by your side. Befriend other P&Ms, befriend the Pi Chis. You are going to have over 600 girls there with you and experiencing the same exact thing. You can find help and a comfort in those girls beside you going through the same thing. You can always talk to my exec board. You can talk to the Pi Chis. Everyone will be there to help you. Don't be scared to make friends. That is something that I would definitely stress is doing that and meeting everyone that you can. Next thing would be the conversations. If you heard me talk on my Instagram takeover, I said treat your conversations like you are interviewing the chapter. Don't treat it as they are interviewing you. You are trying to see if this chapter is the right fit for you. So ask questions when having conversations. You'll never know if you don't ask. Don't be afraid to find out more and learn about the chapters to see if they are the right fit for you. And attitude, most important, be positive. Throughout the process, you will be finding out so much information about our chapters, but most importantly, is to be yourself, be positive, and remember you are a unique and amazing individual. Anything you want to add to that, Sarah?
Perfect.
Awesome.
So we're going to go ahead and go into our PHA policies. So we're going to start off with inclusive excellence. So our chapters have made significant changes to ensuring inclusive excellence is stressed within their sisterhoods and what inclusive excellence means to them. Each chapter has an IE chair that makes sure their members are encouraged to talk freely about their opinions and ideas regarding IE. Their goal overall is to have a house filled with different backgrounds, cultures, religions, and races where every girl feels accepted to celebrate who they are and have the confidence that their sisters will celebrate them. Every chapter holds an IE event to understand, to get to know their sisters on a deeper level. So like I said in the beginning, we actually have a DEI chair, a vice president on our executive board, and she runs an inclusive excellence board that pulls each chair from our chapters, which is an amazing way that we all stay connected in our community. So one way we try to make sure that each chapter is learning how to be more inclusive and diverse, as well as respecting their sisters and other chapters round row, is having bi-weekly IE meetings with the IE chairs from each chapter and the VP of Inclusive Excellence. Like I just said, we want to make sure that our whole community is staying a community and that we're understanding each and every person's background.
So next we have our anti-hazing policy. The GSU Panhellenic community has a strict no hazing policy. We believe that no sisterhood should haze, nor should any members participate in any activity that could be harmful to a sister's well-being to earn her spot in a pledged organization. Everyone should report hazing and any situations that might revolve hazing allegations to the GSU Ethics Hotline, 1-877-516-3445, or on the GSU website. If anyone is in imminent danger, please call GSU PD or 911. We have linked our Real Eagles Don't Haze article, and we've also put in the Max Groover Act public disclosure. And once again, just to stress that we do have a strict no hazing policy that is hazing has no part in a healthy sorority experience, and our university will handle any hazing allegations. So if you need to report any issues, please use these resources we have provided to you.
So, the big news for your parents, if they're listening, there will be a parent-specific orientation on August 1st at 6:30 p.m. via Zoom. There will be a link for parents to register on our link tree in our Instagram bio at GSU_PHA. So parents, if you're listening, please look out on our Instagram for a link to this Zoom. And PNMs, please tell your parents about this orientation so they would be able to know more information about what you're about to do in August.
So now getting into some frequently asked questions. These are just some of the questions we get the most, and we wanted to cover these before we go into our live Q&A. So just be listening out for these. If this is a question you have, we're about to answer it, and let's get started. So recruitment registration, when is the cutoff date for recruitment? To secure your t-shirt, so that means you have to register before this date to guarantee you will get a t-shirt. That is priority registration, which will end on Wednesday, July 17th. So that's in a few days, actually. That's going to end on Wednesday, July 17th at 11:59 p.m. Not midnight, not 12 a.m., 11:59 p.m. So make sure you register before then. But if you still want some more time, recruitment registration will officially close on Friday, July 26th at 11:59. Make sure to follow our GSU_PHA Instagram for any updates on recruitment registration. And Sarah will be linking the link to register if some of y'all want to get a jump start on that. I would love to have more of y'all register for our recruitment process. And this is the link I've also provided to register on the slide.
Yes. Amazing. I put that in the comments, so y'all go ahead and click on it if you have not registered already. And once again, that July 17th date ensures that you will have a t-shirt that is your size. So please make sure to register by that date.
Yes, clarifying, sorry. You
No, you're
will
good.
get a t-shirt, just it might not be the size you prefer if you don't do it by priority registration. So, like Sarah said, you want the size you want, register by July 17th.
So this is our GPA requirement. So you have to have a 2.75 to be eligible, while current college students with 12 plus credits must have a 2.5 GPA to be eligible for recruitment. So let me say that again. Incoming freshmen must have a 2.75 to be eligible from your high school GPA, while current college students with 12 plus credits must have a 2.5 GPA to be eligible for recruitment. All other GPA questions should be forwarded to Daniel and Francisco to receive more detailed answers. If you have any concerns, you can always email the Georgia Southern PHA email and we'll forward it right over if you cannot find theirs. But yes.
So, resumes. We've gotten a lot of emails about resumes. Resumes this year are not required to be submitted to us because what you fill out on your PNM registration profile, it contains all the information we would need on a typical resume. So, any of your clubs, sports, extracurricular activities, any volunteer work you did, we will have all that on your PNM profile when you register. So there's no need to make a resume and submit it to our email.
So recommendation letters. Recommendation letters are written letters by sorority alumni members to the chapter about you and your character. These letters are not required by PHA and are only used to help you during the recruitment process. Not having a recommendation letter will not affect your recruitment process. Recommendation letters must be sent directly to chapters or to their national organization. Directions on where to send recommendation letters for each chapter can be found here, which is on our Georgia Southern PHA website. Once again, not having a recommendation letter will not affect your recruitment process, and each recruitment recommendation letter is specific to their chapter. So check our PHA website.
Yes. And just putting a little tidbit on here, this link that we're about to give y'all for the recommendation letters, it provides y'all the address or email address to send the recommendation letters to. Every chapter is different on their deadlines of when recommendation letters need to be sent, when they need to be sent in by. So my suggestion is that you need to reach out to those chapters that you're getting recommendation letters for, if you do have them, because that is not under PHA. So we have no control under delegating the recommendation letter deadline. So make sure you're just reaching out to them, and make sure you check out this website because some of our chapters do and do not take recommendation letters. So just make sure you're looking at who will accept them.
100%. All right, so move in. Do we have to contact housing about moving in early? No, you do not at all. Once you have registered for recruitment, Georgia Southern Housing will provide more information on early move-in. Housing will contact PNMs mid-July to select their time slot. The early move-in date is Monday, August 5th. So remember that you will be moving in Monday, August 5th, which is the same day as orientation, and housing will be contacting you. You will not be receiving an email from pha@georgiasouthern.edu. You will be contacted by housing to select your certain time slot.
So recruitment schedule. This is gonna be tough maybe for some of y'all, but I know you can do it. What time does recruitment start each day? P&M should be prepared to start at 8 a.m. each day. I know it's kind of early. Sometimes I have trouble waking up at that time too. And you should be prepared to block off the whole day for the recruitment process. Party schedules will differ for every P&M after icebreakers. So when we say that, for example, on icebreakers, all the P&Ms are going to every single chapter house, and they will be talking to each organization, all 7 of them. However, on philanthropy, remember that only P&Ms can only receive a maximum of 6 parties on their schedule, and that could be at different times. So you could have party 1, you don't have to go anywhere, but then you possibly could start at, let's say, 9:30, and your friend may start at 8 a.m., but she has off around 2. So just know after icebreakers, you will have an individual schedule that you need to keep up with and make sure you're on track of where you're going and when.
100%.
So live Q&A, this is where we're going to be trying our best to answer all of y'all's questions. Pretty sure they're going to open the chat box or the question box, whatever it's called, and we're going to try our best to answer as many questions as we can. Just know if we don't hit your question, you can always email us, and we do have a slide with our email. But yeah, let's get started.
Okay. So we already have a question at the top. Do the P&Ms submit the houses to which they would like to be invited back? So on orientation and on programming day, we will be going over all the specifics on how this process of mutual selection works. We're not going to go into it tonight, which I know is long awaited, but it might take a couple of hours for y'all to come in with the questions and answers. So don't worry, on orientation and programming day, we will be going through all of the mutual selection process.
So I see a few questions about where do you submit the modules, the certifications for the modules that y'all are supposed to do on Folio. You are supposed to submit like a screenshot of the module after you complete. Take a screenshot of the certification or a picture on your phone and upload it onto the Dropbox in your Folio. You don't have to bring a printed out copy. You don't have to email it to us. There will be a Dropbox in your Folio account of where you submit the certificate after you've completed the modules.
Yes. I see a question for athletes who have practiced during rush week. How does it work for them? So during recruitment week, if you are a student athlete or if you have other obligations during that week, during the orientation on Monday, August 5th, we will have time to have preferences or to take your name down to have that preference of having a schedule change. So on August 5th, please be prepared to come with your schedule of your different preferences and what you might have that might be I can't even think of the word that might be overrunning the recruitment schedule. Sorry guys, cannot think of the word.
Okay, so I see some questions about what to wear on orientation day and programming day when you don't have an assigned outfit, like icebreakers, philanthropy, and the rest of the suggestions for sisterhood and pref round. On programming and orientation day, wear whatever you like. There's no dress code. You could wear a t-shirt and shorts. You could dress cuter if you want. I know a bunch of girls usually wear athleisure, tank top, athletic skirts, running shorts, whatever you would like, as long as you're comfortable and confident. You are not going to be seeing any of the sororities on these days on orientation or programming. You will just be around the podcast and my executive board. So there's no need to dress up too much. So if you just want to wear a t-shirt and be comfortable, that is totally fine.
Yes. I have a question. What time is orientation? Once again, we are waiting on housing to finalize their times for move-in, and then we will have the time for orientation coming right at you. But once again, everything will be announced on our Georgia Southern Instagram page. So please make sure to look out there for the Georgia Southern _ PHA. When would we,
So,
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
sorry. You want me to go, Sarah?
Yeah, you got it.
So I see a question about, does a letter of recommendation have to be written by a Georgia Southern alumni? And the answer is no, they do not. Your letter of recommendation can come from a organization alumni who possibly did not go to GSU. It does not matter, but obviously it would be an alumni from that chapter. So if you had if you, for example, if you work for someone, if you work for a boss who was in, for one of our chapters, Alpha Delta Pi, and she was an AD Pi at the University of Alabama, which is not our school, she could still write you a letter of recommendation. So they do not have to they do not have to be a GSU alum to write you a letter of recommendation.
I want to talk a little bit about if you are a sophomore going through the recruitment process and say you are not staying in the dorms again that next year, and you are actually moving into a house or an apartment and your move-in date is past August 5th. I do highly recommend having a place to stay during that time if you do not live close, because the schedules do not open every day until 8 a.m. It might take a little time for you to head to campus and to make sure you're there in an adequate amount of time. So I would recommend finding a place to stay during that week leading up to your move-in date, as long as it is not during the recruitment process. So pretty much you want to have a stable place to stay during the recruitment process to ensure that you are on time for your parties every day.
I don't know if we touched on this already, Sarah, the PNM companion app.
No.
Did you talk about? Okay, so I know we've received a few emails about this. I know some of y'all are wanting to get a jump start on everything. I love it. Your ambition is definitely something we look for in the Panhellenic community, but do not worry about the PNM companion app right now. That should be on the bottom of your plate. That will be covered during orientation and how to sign up for it. That is how you do your selection process, is on the PNM companion app, the mutual selection process. So just worry about that at a later time. We will be going over that in the beginning of the week.
Yes. Looking through, the dining halls will be open during the PNM recruitment week. So every day you will be able to eat at the dining hall with your dining plan, which is amazing. So you'll be able to try it out before all of the rest of students get there, so you can pick out your favorites. My favorites at the time were the pasta making bar when I was y'all's during that first year. It really got me through. I'm looking through. Orientation is on August 5th. We are still, once again, awaiting that certain time, but we will have that to y'all very soon.
I just wanted to also circle back and say that for the PNM companion app, that is how y'all will receive your schedules for the day each morning. They do come out really early. in comparison to then when you will be going to those parties. But we will be going over all of that during orientation, I promise. Don't worry about it now. You cannot access it right now, but just want to give y'all a little bit of tips with that. I see another answer about, or another question about, how can a sorority member juggle working a job and being a sorority? And I think I would be the perfect person to answer that. I have worked all, well, it's about to be 4 now, but I have worked all 4 years of my college career while being in my sorority. Fun fact, I'm a nationally registered emergency medical technician, and I work as an EMT in a surrounding county next to Bullock. And it's really just about time management and making sure you're writing everything down, having your priorities straight. I used to plan my day out to the minute. I would have what philanthropy events I have to go to, when my job is. It's really, I know we have tons of members who hold jobs and are also in a sorority. Our Vice President of Financial Affairs, Jewel Adkins, she is going to be able to talk to y'all about that, but it is not as difficult as it might seem. The most important thing is just realizing what's important to you. Working a job, being able to attend your philanthropy events if you do join a sorority. It's really just about time management, prioritization. Sarah, you want to comment on that?
I completely agree. And it's definitely about this. Not only is your time in your sorority what you make it, but it's also your time in college is what you make it. And what you set your priorities on is what will work. I think having a job can 100% once again balance your life with school and sorority, and it is 100% possible. Our sororities are very much understanding about girls who are student athletes, to girls who are in leadership, girls who have jobs. Everyone is super understanding, because not only are they might be in the same boat, but they know that hundreds of other girls in our community are as well. So being ensuring that you're setting your priority on what you want will 100% be successful during your recruitment process.
Yeah. Oh, you want to go?
No, you got it.
Okay, so I see a bunch of things about dress code. So, and which days to wear what t-shirts. So, just to clarify, on Icebreakers day 1 to day 2, we said that half the P&Ms will go to Icebreakers, half the P&Ms will go to programming. On the first day, if you're going to programming and then on the second day you go to Icebreakers, you do not wear your Icebreaker shirt until when you're going on row. So at programming, you can wear whatever you want. You don't have to wear the shirts. You can if you want. You can wear them both days, but you do not have to whatsoever. It's completely what you feel comfortable and confident in, and it's very much relaxed. On when you're talking to the houses for Icebreakers, you will be wearing the Icebreakers t-shirt, and then on philanthropy, you'll be wearing the "This is the place to be" shirt. Um, and then sisterhood is, like Sarah said, the Georgia Southern inspired day, and preference round is the most formal day. Those are your dresses and rompers and cute skirts. So just making sure that we're covering all about dress code. Um, there'll be definitely more reminders once we get closer, but
100%. And
yes.
also, if you have any questions regarding to your registration or needing to change anything on your registration, I have once again linked the PHA Georgia Southern email in our chat. Feel free to email that email, and we will help you any way we can if you have any questions about your folio, the courses you're taking, any of the certificates, or changing of your application.
So I see a question about social media, and I know I talked about this over my Instagram takeover. Basically, our rule, we don't really have rules about social media. However, it is suggested that you just make sure you're proud of your social media and If you had your grandma looking at your social media, would you be okay with what she sees? Obviously, underage drinking is not okay. So just make sure you're cleaning up your social media a little bit and making sure that if your parents or grandma or little sister is looking at it, would they be okay with what they're seeing?
So I see another question. If we live off campus, where will we show up for orientation/programming days? So for orientation, we'll be hosting that at the Georgia Southern campus as well as the programming day. So during orientation, you will come to the Georgia Southern campus. We will tell you the location when time gets closer, as well as the programming day. We will tell you the location as time gets closer. But if you do live off campus, just make sure that you're setting yourself enough time to get there a little early in case of traffic, or if it's crowded getting in, to make sure you have a good seat. So we will let you know those locations as soon as we can, hopefully within the next couple of weeks.
Okay, so I see a lot of questions about these modules. So just to clarify, when you register for recruitment, you will have access to these modules that are on your Folio account. And Folio is the software we use for our classes at Georgia Southern University. You will automatically have access to the critical conversations, Hazing 101, and the FSL hazing modules once you receive your eligibility email from the PHA email. Once you receive that you are all cleared to go through the recruitment process, you will have access to those three modules. However, you have to be manually added onto the sexual assault module and the alcohol module, and you won't be able to see those until a couple weeks after you've received your eligibility email. So there is a total of 5. Once again, it's the critical conversations, the hazing 101, and the FSL hazing. You get those 3 first, and then the sexual assault and the alcohol modules will come later on. But just remember, you should be having 5 modules, and you should be submitting those certifications onto the drop boxes.
100%. I'm looking through. A quick question about the Georgia Southern Inspired Day. Are we supposed to wear something a little more formal or a little more casual? Honestly, I think it's really whatever you want to make uniquely yours. I would go for a little more casual dressed up, if that makes sense. So maybe a blouse or a skirt or a dress, whatever you feel comfortable in. And if you feel comfortable in a Georgia Southern jersey, I think that is amazing. And it's really, truly whatever you feel like shows your style the best. This day is really to show your unique style and whatever fits you best. We will have some options for if you feel that you might need a little something extra at orientation if you are in need of some items. But it is very limited as it is donated from women in our Georgia Southern community.
So I've gotten a couple things about the oh, where was my question? Oh, there it is. I've gotten a few questions about changing things on your PNM profile when you register. I do have access to change something. So I know I've gotten a few emails like, oh, I submitted the wrong name, how you spell your name, or oh, I submitted the wrong GPA, or you forgot to add an extracurricular. If you would like, I do have access to edit your PNM profiles. So if you send me an email and just be like, hey, Megan, I messed this up and I need it changed. Can you please do it? Sarah has attached our email. It is pha@georgiasouthern.edu. If you just send this and say, hey, I typed in something wrong on my registration. Can you please change this more for me? I will be happy to do so. And I can do it fairly quickly, and I'll get to it as soon as I can.
Yes. I want to touch on a really cute question that I found, and it kind of touches a little soft spot. Is there a way for P&Ms to connect before recruitment week starts. I do not necessarily know if there is an Instagram page or a group chat where P&Ms can connect before recruitment week starts, but I would like to say that once orientation and move-in begins, this is the best way to build that community already. Y'all are the only ones on campus and in those dorms that can make these deep connections before the other Georgia Southern students get there, which is a really amazing way to meet so many amazing girls. That's how I met my roommates that I've had for 3 years now, coming up on 4, was during that time of move-in before everyone else got there. So really connecting with those girls in your dorms and during orientation, and most importantly, during programming day, meeting so many people who will be in your community is an amazing part of the recruitment process and is one of the highlights that I still look back on. So once again, I don't know for sure if there's an Instagram, Facebook group chat, but I do know that during those first 2-3 days, it is critical to be able to meet and explore and to be able to see so many different new people that you didn't have before.
So I have seen a lot of questions about finances and the estimated amounts of dues that our organizations cost. During orientation, you will have access to um, files on your folio account that shows you the financial transparency sheets of all of our chapters. This includes new member dues. So when you first join a sorority, it includes regular members, so sophomores, juniors, seniors, and then it also includes girls who live in the house or house girls. Um, just know that it isn't very important that you look over these financial transparency sheets. I know finances can be a touchy topic, and sometimes you might not realize how much it costs. So that's just why we were really going to stress to y'all that when it does become available, please look over these financial transparency sheets. It will give the full breakdown of everything. Our dues range from about 900 being the minimum to around 2,900 being the maximum per semester. So just stressing again, once you have access to these financial transparency sheets, please look them over to make sure it is doable.
Amazing. So I want to answer a question about our Georgia Southern rate of retention and throughout our recruitment process. So you will be able to find more information about this at our programming day and at orientation, but pretty much Georgia Southern has over an 80% retention rate for the recruitment process. Of the women who do not join, over 95% are voluntary withdrawals. So if you go through the process and you feel, I want to wait till the spring where it's a more intimate process, most of y'all are voluntary withdrawing. The amount of women who don't get invited to an organization throughout the week is into the single digits. So pretty much we are not even hitting 10 if something like that does happen. So once again, we have a 80% retention rate for all of the Georgia Southern campus. So finding your home at Georgia Southern is 1,000% possible. And going into that week, there are so many different parts of our community that you'll discover that will allow you to make sure that you're not only making the right decision for yourself, but you're making the right decision for your future where it's long lasting throughout your time at Georgia Southern, where staying in a sorority will allow you to have better academic responsibility, better relationships and communication skills, connections for the future. So there are so many highlights and positives about the recruitment process at Georgia Southern. If you have any more deeper questions about the recruitment process or worries you may be having, be sure to utilize that email once again. I see a comment about what you should talk about during the recruitment process. So I just kind of talked about it just a little bit, but one thing I really want to emphasize on is being your unique self. Taking this time now, you're a couple weeks away from the recruitment process, taking the time now to figure out what you want to become and who you see yourself becoming in these next 4 years of your life, or however many. I have had the chance to not only be the person I wanted to become, but see the person I wanted to become throughout the recruitment process. That was a big thing for me when I was going through a recruitment process. I wanted to see someone I would become, someone I wanted to become to make myself better. So joining a sorority that might push you to be your best self, that is my biggest tip about what to talk about, what to think about before the recruitment process begins.
So I see a lot of questions about programming day once again, and what is it? So basically, on programming day, this is kind of to give y'all a little introduction on the recruitment process. You get to hear from an amazing speaker that we lined up, and it is inside, so you're not going to be running around or doing any athletic activities. So you just need to wear comfortable clothing, whatever you would want. We're going to talk about the mutual selection process and what it's like going through our Panhellenic Association recruitment. So just be ready for that. It's nothing too extensive, but it'll be so fun. We'll have a bunch of surprises ready. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I see a question about should you be carpooling/parking to walk to the recruitment area. So during that recruitment process, during icebreakers and programming specifically, we will set a specific time and area to meet, and you and your PHA leader and group will be walking to designated places. Throughout the rest of the week, you will not be able to park on Sorority Row or in the surrounding areas. So please ensure that you're wearing comfortable shoes. That's why I was saying a little bit during the recruitment week outfit breakdown that you want to make sure you're comfortable and not too hot in the outfits that you're wearing, because you will be walking a little bit. If you haven't been to the Georgia Southern campus yet, it is very amazing because everything is in walking distance to row from the different dorms. So you will have access to walk to the recruitment process, the recruitment row during that week, but you will not be able to drive to the houses.
So I see kind of some scary questions that y'all are asking is that can you go out during rush, during recruitment? And what are some of the big no-nos that you shouldn't talk about during recruitment? So obviously it is not great to be going out, especially since most of y'all are most probably under 21. That is not a good look to be underage in some of the bars that will be around us during recruitment. So going out is not a great look for some of our P&Ms. So I do not recommend going to any bars during recruitment week. And as for big no's to not talk about during your conversations, we usually call it the 3 B's, which is no booze, no bars, and no boys. So these conversations should never revolve around those to begin with. This is about learning about this chapter, their sisterhood, their philanthropy, how you're going to see yourself in this chapter. Can you see yourself in this chapter if you're going to be a good fit for it? This alcohol and drinking and bars and boys should never come up, and it's not a priority to talk about. So I definitely suggest talking about the most important things, which would be about yourself and expressing what you like to do, what are your values, talking about the chapter's philanthropy, and more of the more important topics.
Once again, once you complete your modules, you will submit your module certificates on Folio. Like
So I
looking,
see a question. Oh, sorry.
no, you go ahead.
I see a question about living in the house. If you do happen to join a sorority, you will most probably be able to live in the house once in the chapter house once you're a sophomore. Um, I have lived in my sorority house before, and it is the best thing I could have ever asked for. It's such an amazing experience. We have all 7 of our chapters have beautiful chapter houses, and it's such a fun experience to live with all the girls in your sorority. Most of the time, you will only be able to once you are a sophomore. However, some sororities might have an opening when you're a freshman and you could potentially move in. It really just depends. I've heard of it happening. I don't know how common it is, but most of the time it's when you're a sophomore.
So I see a question. Are we going to be talking to one girl from each house or more than one? So each house during their parties have a unique setup for what you will be participating in the parties and who you might be talking to. So that is unique to every chapter. So I wish I could tell you more about that, but it's a fun surprise throughout the week. The where you can find the chapter policies, I have linked it in the chat. I will link it again for you. So go ahead and check the chat for the recommendation letter link. If you have specific questions about the modules that you have completed, or if you have questions about what to complete further, please make sure to email the Georgia Southern Panhellenic email. I would like to see your name just to make sure that we have everything checked off throughout the entire list of things that you need to go through the recruitment process on August 5th, orientation, and then August 6th starts icebreakers. Once again, we're going to talk about the companion app during our orientation and programming days. So that will go through our mutual selection process about picking and choosing houses and all things recruitment within the companion app. So if you're worried about anything like that, we will go over it on orientation and programming day.
I'm really sorry, guys. My computer almost died, so I had to go plug it in. I'm back though.
You do not have to live in the sorority houses whenever that time comes. Every sorority is specific to their potential new members / new members. So whenever that time comes, it is sorority specific. So sorority specific. I hope that answers your question.
So I see a few questions about bid day. Um, if you do happen to go to bid day, you will meet at the pack to open your bid day cards. And this is where you wear whatever you would like, whatever is comfortable. Usually most girls wear just shorts and cute athleisure and some sneakers, running shoes. Um, Parents can attend. They will be able to be on row to watch you run home if that is something they would like to do. And you will learn more about what bid day looks like later in the week, but that's Really, all there is to it is just wearing athleisure and being comfortable, and we'll give you all that information when the time comes.
Yes. And one big thing about bid day is unique to every chapter. So theme and what will be happening is unique to every chapter, which is one amazing thing about our Georgia Southern community. Making sure that you have submitted all the important documents and everything for making sure that you have everything ready for recruitment. You can make sure that you have the checkoff list by going on our website at Georgia Southern Panhellenic Council, and it can tell you the breakdown of everything that is required to go through the recruitment process. So you can use that as a little checkoff list to make sure everything is completed. We will let you know where to park throughout the week during orientation. So no need to worry about that. We will make sure that everything is shared and communicated to y'all throughout that time.
If you perchance do not get invited back to any chapters, you will receive notification from our FSL staff, and they can direct you on the options that you have um, going through the process and what your future decisions might look like. So don't really think about the negatives though. Yes, that is a possibility, but we're not going to focus on that. Just be positive, but you will be notified if it were to happen.
You should get the email about what time to move in mid-July. And once again, that'll come from Georgia Southern Housing. It will not come from the PHA email or an FSL email.
So, talking a little bit about the sorority experience and what it's like being a sorority. I know a few of y'all had some questions about are some of the events mandatory and how do you juggle all of it with school? Like Sarah and I said, it really comes down to prioritization and time management. If you really want this, you're going to make it work. And these chapters also provide amazing resources to help you throughout the semester, such as study hours and helping you with your academics. um, a bunch of the chapters have academic chairmen that can help you in your classes. There are sometimes mandatory events for chapters. It really depends on what those chapters decide. Every chapter is different, but I look at it as you should want to go to every event possible. These are amazing things that our chapters put forth in planning, and it's really simple to time manage your school and a sorority. And I know you can do it. We have tons of members who are willing to help you up and down row and to navigate how to balance a sorority, being in school, being in a sorority with being an athlete, having a job. It's definitely doable.
100%. And one great thing to remember, and this is a great tip to remember while you're going throughout that week, is asking our chapters and the chapter members you're talking to what it's like to be in that sorority, what it's like to balance academics, what academic major do you have? What do you do when you get outside of school or sorority? Asking these girls about their lives and how they balance everything in college is a great tool to have, especially because you might be starting or going into your second year. If you're talking to someone who is older than you, it might be a great time to ask for advice and see how you might venture out in your new season of life, which is a great tool to have.
So, will you get paired with the same group every day? No, you will not. On icebreakers and programming, you will be put into a group with P&Ms, and you will have a pie kai to show you around on those days, both at programming and on icebreakers, where y'all all have the same schedule. However, once your schedule becomes different, you won't be with your group anymore. So that's why I say it's so important to make friends and to try your hardest to befriend others with you. Um, you will not be going to the same parties with the same people. So just remember that after icebreakers, starting on philanthropies, your party schedules can differ from your other P&M colleagues.
How many people are in one sorority? So our sorority chapter sizes range in so many different types of numbers and different girls in each chapter. So throughout the recruitment process, you will be able to see a little sneak peek of how many girls are in our chapters, but you will not see a huge, vast majority of them. One huge tip when you're going into these houses to look around, to take it all in, see what the house is like, see what other girls are like when they're entering the house, what they are doing, what they're singing, or what is happening around you is a great tip to have when you're going in through these houses in your parties.
Yes, so I have a question about pie pies. Is you will have a designated pie pie for you. Um, I can't really go into how we're going to group y'all just yet, but I will make sure that you do have a pie pie that you know, and I will make sure that pie pie introduces herself and works her very best to be there for each and every one of y'all that she is assigned to. Um, it really comes down to how much you make of it with the podcasts. If you would like advice and like to use them for support, they're definitely there. However, if you don't want to, that is totally fine. Like I said, they're an unbiased support system and they're there to help you. But it is really useful to have a podcast that you get to know and that you can trust throughout the week, and you'll be able to talk with her. And you'll be able to meet your pie guys on probably the first day of icebreakers and programming. You will get to see the pie guys on move in and orientation day, but you'll be meeting them on icebreakers day one and programming.
And then a little bit to touch on my last question, our chapters typically have about 250 members in our sororities. And then, is it okay to be scared and nervous and share that with current members in PICAS? 100%. Girls want to hear how you are uniquely you and what is happening and what you are truly like behind the scenes. It can all be so scary and nerve-wracking. To be completely transparent with y'all, I was a little scared to get on this presentation today. Before I got on, I was like, Megan, I'm a little nervous. So we all get a little nervous. Like TikTok says, we're just girls. So it's okay to be nervous. It's okay to talk to the girls like they're just your friends or your family members, because they want to hear that, because honestly, they're probably just as nervous as you. So be confident that it's okay to be nervous and scared, but it's honestly just a casual conversation about you, and honestly show off all the amazing qualities that you have and all the amazing things that you do.
I had a few things to say. I saw a question about learning how to pronounce each of the sororities and learning about them. So, just really quick, we will be going into each of the chapters on orientation day. So, I promise any of these questions that we are not hitting, we will be talking about them on orientation, and you will have all the knowledge you need. But really quickly, so the 7 chapters that we'll be going through the fall recruitment process are Kappa Kappa Gamma, Alpha Omicron Pi, Chi Omega, Zeta Tau Alpha, Kappa Delta, Alpha Delta Pi, and Phi Mu. And we will be able to provide y'all information on all of them. And I promise there's going to be so much y'all will learn. Um, so don't worry about getting all of it in now. So you'll get it, I promise.
Does anyone else have any more questions? Because I think we're about to wrap up. But thank you all so much for listening to us. It has been such an amazing time. Let's see. How long will orientation be roughly? We're going to try to make it super fast, but it will take, hopefully, I would say an hour or two, because we want y'all to get nice and rested for the next day, which is icebreakers. So be sure to be on the lookout for the time orientation will start.
Yes. So I think we're about to wrap up, but a final tip or message to support the PNMs. My biggest thing is to be your genuine self. I remember not really feeling that emotion much on one day of recruitment, and then I remember crying the next. So trust me, it is okay to have real and genuine conversations with these girls. They are a person exactly like you. They want to see your true, genuine self. You do not have to put on a facade for anyone. This is getting to know them and to getting to know you. And I just think it would be the most beneficial to both sides if you were true and authentic. And just remember that you're an amazing individual going through this process. So you're already doing such a great thing, taking a step out of your comfort zone. And I'm so excited that all of y'all are doing this. It is one of the most amazing things you can decide to do. Sarah, before we close off.
100%. I mean, I cannot agree with Megan more. Panhellenic has given me so many opportunities I think I would have never had if I didn't take the jump and go through the recruitment process back in fall 21. I have been so lucky to be the Panhellenic president for our community, and it has brought me so many joys. Once again, I want to tell y'all to go and follow our Georgia Southern Panhellenic Instagram. All of our recruitment outfits, rush bags, everything like that will be posted on there. Our public relations girl, Day, is done amazing with posting all the different graphics and breakdowns. So any further information will be posted on there. We will have our link tree that will have the parent Zoom as well as any other further information. Please be on the lookout for any emails from us in the further future. Our email is also on our Instagram. So if you have any more pressing questions or anything silly that you might need to ask, please DM us or email us. We are on the other side of the screen, more than happy to answer any question. So yeah, I don't think I have anything else.
Nope, I'm all good. I'm so excited once again that each and every one of y'all are going through this. Sarah and I were kind of nervous to do this, but I hope that we answered all the questions y'all may have, and we really helped y'all and gave y'all more information than you had yesterday. So once again, if you have any more questions, please email us pha@georgiasouthern.edu. I'm sure I have this up. Here it is down at the bottom, and we're so excited to see y'all in August.
Yes, thank y'all so much for joining. Please email us if you have any more questions. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Enjoy your night.